about the Grandmaster chime, right? So like, definitely someone was willing to pay $30 million for it, right?
Yes. Yeah. I'm surprised that that record has not even come close to
being broken.
You know, because 17 million, I think, is the next threshold, right?
Yeah, the Paul Newman, and the 1518 in steel, they're both at 100K difference. Right. So we're at 17.5.
Yep. But between that and
the thing is, you know, like this is a watch where you don't need to do any homework. Okay, you know that it came that way from Patek. So like with that watch, you knew what you were getting, right? With like a 1518, like there's a lot of dispute, there's a lot of debate. I mean, like provenance plays a role, right? And even provenance, you're like, okay, so what? Like this collector owned it, he could have like dial swapped it, he could have like restored it, he could have like touched up the case, he could have done anything.
There's 3 other chances aside from this one. That's also a factor because there's 4 of them.
Okay, so it keeps going, right? So like, there's all these issues that are present when you're buying vintage, right? And then to compare that, what was the next watch? A Journe, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Journe is just hitting its stride in the auction market. Okay, you can't compare vintage Journe to vintage Patek. You know?
Yeah, because the oldest Journe is 25 years old, and a vintage Patek is 50, 60, 80, 100
years old. It could be, right? So, like, there's that, okay? And I forget the last part. But anyways, but you're getting the Grandmaster, a Grandmaster chime, okay, with all of its complications, a date freaking repeater, right?
All the marketing that comes with it.
All the marketing that comes with it, all the brand prestige in steel, in Salma. It's like ding, 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 ding. Like the only thing that was missing was like a Tiffany stamp, right? Like, and that's it. Like you've maxed out.
It's undisputed, right? that piece.
So it makes sense why there would be such a gap between that and whatever comes after it. Because like to beat that, you would have to get like, I don't know, like Rolex serial number 1. Or like the first Daytona like ever made.
I still...
Like, I don't know, like to get there.
I think it's really difficult because you have to look at the context of that sale. I think we should put anything which is charity, whatever, kind of aside, because the comparisons it's not exactly the same. Sometimes, you buy for charity, it's a unique piece, you want to be seen by the brand that you're spending so you can get a whole bunch of other freebies or special editions. It's true. Right. I mean, don't forget one thing, that buying at auction so openly, it's also a marketing thing for the buyer.
Yourself, yeah.
Because the brand sees that you're supporting, well, then, it's much easier to go to Mr. Stan and say, you know what, I just spent this much on a Grandmaster chime. How about making me a titanium Nautilus with a Tiffany stamp? I'm just inventing things up. But it's much easier than because you spent $10 million on something else. Yeah. It's an interesting
so that
market.
Works. Yeah. That works with Patek. I want to just steer the conversation.
No, I don't know. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
I would assume so, and I have proof-ish. Anyways, let's not go there. Does that work for Journe? So like if I buy like a really big Journe, like if I was the buyer for that FFC, you know which one. If I was the buyer of that piece, right? Like, do I get a Chrono Blue with it? Like, can I get like my Elegant?
Really? That's all you want?
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I mean,
he's a man of simple tastes.
I am a simple man.
Like your 6th one, maybe at that point.
No, I mean, like, like if I buy that, do I get like the ruby tourbillon vertical? Like, does he like throw in like an astronomique?
I cannot speak on behalf of, and it's one of the things I like about Francois Paul is he really is. He does what he wants at the end of the day, and it doesn't matter how much you spent on a watch at an auction. It's, if you ask him and he likes you and he's in a good mood, he will. You might not have to spend that much. He might, just do it for you, and that's why I can't answer that as a definitive yes or no, as maybe other brands are more willingly able to do. But I think it's always an overall picture. Like, you can go and you can spend $4 million on a resonance at auction publicly or whatever. That's not going to get you brownie points at the boutique.
He doesn't care.
I don't think anyone cares.
I think what's interesting with François Paul is he really works on emotion, and if he likes you, he'll like you, and you may have bought an elegant and he likes you, and then maybe he'll help you out to go on the top list to get a chronomètre bleu. If he doesn't like you, you can have spent $30 billion and he'll still not like you.
Yeah, it's a bit of a different relationship back then, because he's always looking at like he appreciates the first person that bought a subscription back in the day for 200, 300,000 at an auction. He appreciates that collector. He knows the collector, and that was a huge leap. That was the first subscription that went on the public auction. Following that, the first tourbillon that broke $1 million. He appreciates the collector, and I think he looks at the overall picture. Like, this collector has dedicated a lot of their collection to F.P. Journe and their means to F.P. Journe, and he will show his appreciation, but it's not gonna be a matter of, I spent this much, can you make me this? You know, that's never been a thing.
He's an artist. He is an artist, in a way, and I think that's what there's a lot of his appeal is also his personality.
Yeah.
So you're saying that don't look at F.P. Journe as a brand. Look at him as an artist making watches. And
Yes, I remember.
That's how you should kind of like treat collecting in that.
2014, I was inquiring about people that order, you know, special dials back then, which was a lot more doable relative to today. And the answer is one that I still believe. There are people that have 2 watches, and he was like, I like the idea, I like you, I will make you something. And there are people that have bought 15 watches back then, and
Like,
no, I don't like it, I'm not gonna do it. So it's never been a measure.
So it's a matter of whether he likes your taste.
It's not whether he likes your taste.
Just trying to like box him in. You see what I'm doing?
No, it's never.
Trying to
It's
get
never
him like cancelled.
It's never whether he likes your taste. François Paul has a talent of picking up on your passion from across the room. Right away, he looks into your eye. He's known that if he's having a conversation with you, he's always going to look you in the eye, and he can pick up why you're there and how much you love his brand. And I can attest to this firsthand.
Did he look you in the eye? I'm guessing he did. All right. So, now that I've successfully gotten him cancelled, let's try to get you cancelled. So, F.P. Journe is mooning.
Yeah. Is
Like,
mooning.
Absolutely. Like smashing record after record. Okay, it's a younger generation.
Sustainable.
It's a younger generation. Thank you for that.
I'm gonna go in and say I still think there's a lot of hype that's, you know, in the prices, secondary prices. I think there's a lot of influence. Like, let's not say this is all normal and you know, casual, and I think even the brand has spoken about this. Like, you're always happy to see some elevation, but when you just keep going to the moon, that always puts at least the brand himself on edge, because that's not a very normal trajectory. So I think there's a lot of hype and speculation, and we'll see where that goes. I don't know.
I've spoken to you twice about this, and you've given me 2 different responses, and I would love to unpack that. But first, we must get our friend cancelled.
Yes.
But let me jump on before you cancel me on one thing. I think today we see a lot of Journes, like important Journes, come to the market, which are the older models, where the person who bought them at a much lower price than what they're selling. So there's a lot of these pieces coming to the market now, going for high prices. But I think in a not too distant future, this whole market of the early sellers will have dried out, And a lot of people who've been buying the watches for the past 5, 6, 7 years, they're going to be holding on to them or not selling them because of the price they paid. And you're going to see the market offering for Journes really dry up for the very important pieces. I'm not talking about Elegance or Chronomètre Bleu, whatever. Meaning that after that, every time an important piece comes to the market, it's going to be an event. And whatever price you're going to see, you're going to say, wow. It was cheap 5 years ago when the watch sold for 10 million. Because this one time it's going to sell for like...
Well, let me ask you this. Hold on a second. How many of these buyers that are paying this amount of money readily, how old are they? Because, you know, they're...
Ooh, what an interesting angle.
So, interestingly, you would
He's
think...
going to say that they're 16 or something. Like, I just know it. Like, he's just going to
No,
like...
it's interesting because, you know, a lot of people, myself even before...
It's a cycle, you know?
We thought that, you know, the watch collector was some white-haired guy from Europe or the US who's like 60-something years old and 70 or whatever, and who's going to pass away soon or his collection will come back to the market. But then you have this huge new generation coming to the market. From here, the GCC, a lot from Asia, even Americans and Europeans who are 30, 35, 40-year-olds who are buying these watches. A lot of Journes are being bought by really young people who are no longer buying, you know, a sports watch or from a main brand as their first cool watch, but they're buying Journes. And I think that this is it's interesting because he's like 70-something years old and his clients are like 40 years younger than he is.
Then I would have to say, or ask, because the people that were buying them 20 years ago that are now a lot older, 20 years older at least.
I would argue if you were buying like Journe in like early 2000s, you were probably like at least 30.
Right.
At least.
Right.
Like
And
probably 40.
But there was a different philosophy into collecting back then. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious to see the newer faces in the watch world. What is their collecting philosophy? Because like I haven't started collecting a long time ago, but at least 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I was used to certain prices or seeing certain prices, which today when I see, you know, and it's not just me, but I struggle to buy the same watch. Yeah. Because I was used to seeing this like 200K less than it is now.
Wow, you're spending 200K 10 years ago?
200K less.
Not bad.
Less.
Less? Oh, what was the starting point?
Right?
Okay.
And so it's a bit of a different buying angle, whereas the same people that were there back then, today, I mean, if someone's, you know, first few watches is already in the 2-3 millions in 2025 and 2026, what angle do they look at? Are they like, I'm going to keep it for a few years and see where it goes? Am I parking, you know, some cash into it? Am I actually collecting it and having a room filled with billions of dollars?
You know, there's this common feeling, and when you go on forums and whatever, that whoever buys an expensive watch is either money laundering or is an idiot. But
I can attest to the forum chat.
But first of all, who launders money by making a bank transfer from a brick and mortar important bank to an auction house?
They told us you accepted crypto.
I don't think you want to open that chat.
No, because if you're going through, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, like even I know that discussion shouldn't be like...
No, because normally the bank will have done all the KYC and whatever's before even getting it. Today, nobody can go to a bank, I don't know, even with cash. It's finished. Even like in auction, I don't know if you want to keep this, it's like even 1,000 francs you can't take cash. So that's...
Okay, but if I wire you money from a country that's obviously not...
This is the part that shouldn't be on.
No, no, we don't take the money.
If my bank account is in the Caribbean under my name and I pay you from there,
if it's like JP Morgan or whatever, yes. But the thing is, okay, people who think that the guy who spent 2 million, 5 million, 10 million is a stupid guy. Why? I mean, some guy who nobody goes and spends that amount of money just out of stupidity. They spend that because they believe that what they're getting is worth that amount. And most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, these guys do their homework first. They know what they're buying. It's rare. You don't have that some like billionaire crypto oligarch that who just wants to flex. I think that is something that we may have seen like 20 years ago, but not in watches. But in watches, today, for me, it's seriously maybe 5%, but 95% of they're not.
I think you're being way too defensive on some.
You know what? I think maybe he's looking at only a certain class of pieces. Okay, because we're talking about like the Journes that could sell for like 7 million plus, right?
I'm talking about the very big pieces. I'm not talking about the guy who buys an Elegant and sells it for 100K or a Chronomètre Bleu at 150.
Which I think is fair, right? Like who is buying the FFC? Who is buying like I forget it, is it 1583 or 1593? 1593, okay. 1593, 1693, like early subscription pieces, subscription tourbillons. Who's buying those? It's not.
There's
like I just sold like 1,000 Bitcoin last night. It's not that guy,
no.
Right?
I'll tell you this. It's
not the 40-year-old
it's
who's
always
like, hey, I just made some money, like.
It's always one of two. At least in my opinion, it's someone who, in your case, is a collector and has research and knows what they're getting and they want to go all in, or it's someone that doesn't know anything about the watch or brand, and we've seen these people pop up, but to them it's like. You can buy an art piece, and as long as the major difference is that, at least when I was preaching about the brand in 2014, like when I got into the brand, the biggest reason someone would tell me that they're not buying the watch from F.P. Journe is because it doesn't hold value. This was a huge, we're not touching this. You can take it anywhere. You can beg people to buy it off you. We're not okay with this.
I can attest.
Tell you story after
I can attest to this.
Today,
I bought my Chrono Blue, just to anecdotally share something before you finish your thought. I bought my Chrono Blue in 2011, and I paid somewhere between $17,000 and $18,000 for it. And I showed it to my friends in Singapore, and they laughed at me. They said, "How much did you pay for it?" Like 17, like you could buy it like for 10K, and they also told me how else I could have acquired one.
Yep.
Not from the gray market, from someone else who was selling it like way cheaper than my retailer. Like crazy, like no one wanted to touch them.
Nope.
I was pitching them to like my friends, and I was like, why buy a Nautilus, or why buy an Oak when you can buy a tantalum cased watch with an 18 karat rose gold movement with a hidden like gear train, like all this cool stuff with an amazing dial. Okay, like maybe I'm not, the dial is not the first thing that stands out to me personally, but like it's a really cool dial. You're getting all of that for like either comparable to the other brands or like way less.
Yep. The guy that was buying a resonance in 2014 and 2015 at the F.P. Journe boutique, the moment he walked out, 50% value down.
Smashed.
And he was okay with it because he loved the watch. He knew what he was buying. He was collecting.
But that was everybody at the time. You bought any watch, you walked out of the door, you lost between 20, 30, 40%. And everybody was okay with it. Like, whatever. It's today that people are like, oh my God, why is not my watch that it was made in 30 million examples not gaining value?
I would say that in terms of holding value today, we've seen fluctuations in all the other brands aside from F.P. Journe. F.P. Journe, to me, the number one topic of discussion someone's buying an F.P. Journe, at least when I was like in Dubai Watch Week, was always the value. Nobody cares what resonance is anymore. It's just that it holds value. People are a lot more comfortable. Whether you're rich,
you have the $300,000 one.
Yeah. If you're rich and you're comfortable paying this amount, you're okay with it because you know you're not losing, and you don't even care about the watch. You don't care about what watchmaking is. It's you're fine buying something expensive because it's like the Ferrari model, you know? Ferrari will make a special series of cars and they'll sell it to their top clients, and they know that as soon as you buy it, it's worth X% more. They give you that to make you feel better, and that's why you're comfortable paying 2 million, 3 million euros on the car.
But I think also, if we just go back to value for very fast. 20 years ago, you bought a watch, I don't know, a resonance was 80,000 euros at the time.
Yes.
Today it's like 200,000. Well, losing 50% makes it's either 40,000 or 100,000. I mean, so all of a sudden the value retention is important because the prices are so high that you lose so much more money.
Yes and no. I think it's because like we have a different class of buyer today who's like more price sensitive. I'd say that because everybody today who's buying a watch, and I'm talking about like even if it's a $5,000 watch or let's go up to a $50,000 watch, everyone's really price sensitive because like back then you spent 100 grand on a watch, you really liked it. You spent 5 grand on a watch, you really liked it. And that was it, regardless of how much minus X, Y percentage here, regardless of that, it was like, okay, you know, like I'm taking a beating, I'm comfortable with it, I like the watch that much. Another thing that I want to factor in is that 80,000 euros in the early 2000s is not the same as it.
That's true.
Today. Like,
That's true.
We don't even clap at $1 million anymore.
I know, you're such a snob.
I remember when day dates were selling like over $100,000 or Swiss, like, oh, standing ovation. Like now, like they're selling for like 300 plus. And like, eh.
Everybody's like, wow, next.
Yeah.
Everybody's become blasé.
I always ask people that are today getting into the brand, getting it hard. Like they're you know, if you're offered something, buy it even if you don't like it, kind of mentality. And I say, if your purchase now, your F.P. Journe watch lost 20% out the door, would you still be buying it? And the answer is always no.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
You know, you always have sometimes the people in this for the wrong reason. Always. But you know, sometimes the retail crowd and the auction crowd are a bit different. Sometimes the retail crowd, the guy he only buys at retail because he likes the getting, you know, the experience, flexing in front of the buddies, coming into the shop and the shop manager, hey, whatever, come sit, have a glass. It's sometimes not the same exact kind of
There's a
clientele.
lot of flex if you can buy a watch at retail.
It is.
That's something money can't buy.
Yeah, true.
I learned that in Dubai.
Ooh. Okay, I'll leave it between you two.
Yeah, I mean, because you can find anything here. You know, you can buy any car, you can buy any watch, but if you can get it at retail, that's something money can't buy.
Exactly. That's the biggest flex.
Yeah.